it's Wednesday, so welcoming you back to another installment of the Culinary Hotline Bling.
Ting, ting, ting!
No. That is not what we're doing, okay? I know it's Wednesday, I know it's only 6:15, but even you at home, I want you to wake the neighbors, I want you to wake everybody up.
Everybody.
It's time for another Culinary Hotline Bling.
Ting, ting, ting!
There you go. That is much better, everybody. We are celebrating women in the food industry this August month. And with the month coming to a close, unfortunately, we have one more woman who we wanted to join in the kitchen this morning. So please welcome food professional Didi Stalls is with us. Hey! Didi, I understand you didn't get the memo. You say ting, ting, ting. But
yes,
the energy, that is what we have. That is what we have in the kitchen. And you, I know you come with your own energy. You are called the West Coast Foodie. Where did you inherit that name?
Do you know what? I think I have no idea when it started. I just started hearing it, so I'm going with it.
Yeah.
But I do live in the West Coast, and my passion, my style is West Coast style food. That's really what I want to bring to people, so it's fitting.
So we have the West Coast foodie, we have the South African foodie, two foodies in one.
Can I just say?
Say it.
So I met Didi on Sunday. I went for the most amazing lunch. It started at 12 o'clock. I left at 12:30 the next day.
It was a 12-hour lunch.
It was a 12-hour lunch. The food was so amazing. I was like, Didi, what are you doing on Wednesday? You gotta be cooking with us on the show. And here she is.
What did you eat for 12 hours?
A lot.
A lot. That's a really good answer, yes.
But we're gonna have a little bit of the sampling today, starting actually off with this, which was something that absolutely blew my mind. Poffertjies.
Poffertjies.
And there's a special ingredient in there, and it is magic.
So share the secret with us. What is that special ingredient that Chef Clem is clearly raving about?
It's
pampoen poffertjies.
But don't tell her what the ingredient is.
Yeah, you have to say it like a pampoen poffer.
Pampoen poffer.
Are you going to have a taste it?
Give it a smell. Give it a smell.
Okay, give it a smell.
What is this? No, what?
It's the magic.
It's a kind of magic.
Didi, you can take it from here and tell her what the secret ingredient is.
What this is?
So it's fish sauce.
Fish sauce.
It's weird, I know, but we make a pampoen poffer like your oma used to make it. And then the sauce is a salted caramel, where normally you would salt a caramel with salt. You salt it here with fish sauce, and it just gives it like a very different
Because what people don't know is that fish sauce actually has a very potent, salty taste to it and can be very overpowering. So I'm very excited to see how you're going to marinate these two things, which of course we start with the pampoen, which we have here already, and then take us through the recipe.
Yeah, okay.
Let's do a swap. Okay, so you're going to work on the caramel, and you need this back?
You need that, you need that.
Okay.
I couldn't even get the smell. I was like, what is
but
that?
It's strange,
It
eh?
makes complete sense, because, I mean, you get so much umami from the fish sauce. And like, we sometimes have pampoen fritters as a dessert.
Yes.
But it totally makes sense why some people also serve it as a main and with savory food.
I feel like it's very South African as well.
Very South
Africans want
African.
sweet things on their plate.
Yes, okay.
So I start here, you start there.
Yeah, you're going to work on that amazing caramel. I'm going to get all your wet ingredients together, and it's pumpkin, because you have to have pumpkin. Is there anything special you do to your pumpkin?
Absolutely not. No, it's just you simply boil it. It really helps if you can extract as much of the water before you mix it into your batter. So sometimes I'll just put it over a colander to really dry out and then mash it up.
I'm going to multitask. I'm going to be here. And then I'm going to be over here.
Ooh.
Checking the oil.
We're
checking the
everywhere
oil.
today.
And then I'm back. And then I'm back.
Ninja,
it's okay.
You're giving the camera work a lot.
You know what?
A lot of work today.
It's only just something past 6. Camera, can you see me? Can you see me?
Now you see me, now you don't.
No, they're fine. They're okay.
So here's the thing. So if people cook for you for 12 hours, they just come onto the show. Now we know.
That's the thing. That's the thing.
Chef Clem and you just want to cook for him, know that if you cook for him for 12 hours, he will invite you on the show and you can cook for the entire nation.
Absolutely. And the thing is, right, there's so much amazing flavor that you get from the West Coast, because the produce on the West Coast it's not just fish. It's not just seafood.
Yeah.
There are other elements to it as well. And it's kind of like it was going to school on Sunday and just getting the most amazing culinary education with flavor after flavor after flavor. And nothing was pretentious. There were no purees and foams. No, it was just beautiful, and like you just felt like by the end of it, I felt like I was from the West Coast, like properly.
Did you change your accent after that?
Is there a West Coast accent?
I feel like there's a West Coast accent. There's definitely a West Coast
accent. Oh, wait. If you're from the West Coast,
twang.
it's not West Coast, it's Vescus.
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 Yeah.
There we go.
Who was that? What? Graham's
Graham was shouting something.
Graham's just here this morning. He's also representing the West Coast this morning.
So sugar's going into that as well.
I like to use brown sugar as well. It's like extra depth of flavor with that, so it's not just sweet.
Carameliness.
Yes, it is, because pumpkin's got a nice sweetness already, but you're kind of like accentuating that pumpkin flavor by adding brown sugar. I love it.
And because we're doing such a sweet sauce, that actually we don't, I think it's about 25 grams of sugar that we put in there, so we try to keep it very low, the sugar content.
Definitely. What are you busy with on that side, Diddy?
I am starting the base for the salted caramel, so...
See, I saw you had butter going into the pot.
Yeah.
What else did you add into our...
So I've got sugar, butter, and syrup in here. This is actually a very nice little trick if you ever want to like stabilize a caramel, because a lot of people are scared of caramel because it can seize up on you and things. You just put syrup in there and then it stabilizes it. So it makes so you can stir it. You don't have to be afraid that it's going to seize up.
I didn't know. That's really cool.
Can we Uber?
Don't look at my mess. Don't look at my mess. Okay. And okay, so to give it that poof.
Yes.
To give the pufferky the poof,
yes.
You got baking powder going in.
Yeah.
And like salt again, because we cannot do anything without salt. We've got to get that salt in there.
Unlocks the flavors.
Salt everything.
Salt everything.
Can
you make this batter ahead of time, or is it best to make it fresh?
You know, it's a bit like pancake batter, because you know pancake batter likes to stand and then the flour molecules soak up the moisture. So it's a bit like that. You can actually make it far ahead of time.
That's great. I like that.
This is great. So if you want to whip it out for in the week or just do, you know, a quick little add-on to your dinner, you can definitely make it.
Like a dinner party. You've got so much to do. You make this ahead of time and you just go...
And we're actually just talking about boards. You know, there's this new trend on social media where people come bringing a board. You can do a board of pampoen poffertjies. Imagine, like, you'd be the rock star of the dinner night. Be like, hey, everybody, I brought my own pampoen poffertjies that I learned from Didi and them.
They are a showstopper. They're quite popular.
There we go. Have I done it?
You've done it, sir.
Okay.
I do believe you have.
So, should we swap? Oh no, wait, you've got an amazing trick of how you get your shape of the poffertjies. And it's a teaspoon.
It's a teaspoon.
So should I hand over to you?
It's a teaspoon and a flick.
Yeah, show us the viscous flick.
We'll try it,
If you look at the end result there, it doesn't look like you're just taking a teaspoon, but okay, I want to see this.
Yeah, because they go quaff, right?
Quaff.
So, so I always scrape it against the bowl. So you get like 3/4 of a teaspoon, not a whole teaspoon, and you just kind of flick it in there. There you go, this oil is nice and happy with us. And yeah.
And I'm assuming you don't want the oil to be too hot because otherwise it will just burn.
Yeah, and they raw in the middle.
Make it nice and medium heat.
Yes,
and then pop it in.
I thought you were saying make the oil medium rare. And I was going to be like, how?
A medium heat is very right.
I mean, and then that is it. That's
and they're cute. They turn themselves around as they cook. And then afterwards, you just take them out when they're brown.
That's amazing. Yes. So I'm going to let you do like a fancy drizzle. You can go back to your side of here. So we've got some that we've puffed up already. Here you go. And I've got some extra sauce for you.
Very nice.
So tell me, what's the consistency we're looking for when the sauce is done? Is there a color we're looking for? Is there a viscosity we're looking for?
So I'm a deep believer in a deep caramel because you want it to be a little bit bitter. I think that's why.
So that's a bit blonde. That's a bit blonde.
It's fairly blonde, yes. But you know, it's equally good. So I think the thing, can I drizzle?
Please do your best, chefy drizzle.
You have to do a slow drizzle.
What to do? I'm gonna.
A slow drizzle.
We'll do like a...
Yes!
Yes, the poffer.
Pampoen poffertjies at its best, Didi. You are showing off this morning. But of course, for you at home, if you do have any culinary conundrums or maybe have any questions for Chef Clem or Didi, then please do join in on the discussion and send through your voice notes to our WhatsApp line. That number is 063-408-8863. And if you want to get your hands on the recipe, expressoshow.com. It is another installment of the Culinary Hotline Bling.
Ting, ting, ting!
You know how we do.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, everybody. Yes, you heard the sound. It's time for another installment of the Culinary Hotline Bling.
Ting, ting, ting! Didi got it. Didi got it. Yeah!
She's finally with us. Of course, this morning we are celebrating another woman in the food industry. We have food professional Didi Stalls, and she's finally awake now. Now, if you have any questions for Chef Clem or Didi, please do feel free to join in on the discussion and send through those voice notes. We'd love to hear from you. That WhatsApp line is 063-408-8863. Now, we did get a voice note through, and this one is from Natalie, and she's asking about jelly and custard. Let's take a listen to what her question or maybe a comment is.
Good morning, team.
Morning.
It's Natalie here. I actually do have a question for Chef Clem and Didi this morning. For the life of me, I cannot make the most simplest dessert, which is jelly and custard. Why is it that my jelly never sets and my custard comes out rubbery, which is quite embarrassing? And actually one of my favorites. Please advise. Thank you.
Oh, Natalie, you
Got
can
you.
hear the sincerity in her voice. And
Guys,
this again is
that's
a
enough to hurt
judgment-free
you.
zone.
That's enough to get you in your feelings. I know, I get it.
She's
I
like,
get-
guys.
She sounds embarrassed.
I actually do maybe know what's going on. Right. So when you make jelly, what's quite nice is they give you all the instructions right there about how much liquid to add. So what I found people do is they try to get the process to speed up to set the jelly, so they put it in the freezer. So Natalie, number one, if you're doing that, don't do that. It kind of stops the gelatin from setting.
Yeah.
The fridge is your best friend. And if you're worried about it taking too long to set the fridge, what I do is by volume, say for instance, the powder you're using says use 2 cups of water, I'll use 1 cup of hot water. And the other, once I've dissolved the powder in that 1 cup of boiling water, hot water, I'll add 1 cup of ice.
Yeah.
To quickly cool down the mixture so it'll set a lot faster.
I do the exact same thing.
And
Ice
it
water,
works.
yeah,
It works
really well.
You could also set your bowl over another bowl of ice, but once you add, I don't think that's necessary. Just take the liquid, half hot, half ice.
Yeah.
But remember to dissolve the granules first before you add your ice. Do you want to do the custard one? Because I know...
I'm wondering if she does custard from scratch, which is
Yes.
the egg yolks, which is very finicky, or if she goes the instant custard route, because that's 2 very different
Yes.
things. So I think the most important thing if you're making your custard from scratch, if you want to cheat a little bit, the French don't like us doing this, but if you put a little bit of cornstarch when you do your egg yolks, it really helps to get a firmer custard that's still silky, but it's not jelly. What did she say? She called it...
It sets too much and it...
Yeah, she said rubbery.
Rubbery, yes,
Rubbery,
yeah.
yeah. So that's a good way to ensure that you have a very creamy, sort of great consistency in your custard.
Absolutely. Another thing that I find is if you're using the powdered version, and you're finding that it is setting too much, keep in mind cornstarch firms up as it cools as well. So maybe add a little more liquid, and if you know you're going to be serving your custard later, definitely add more milk to it. That way, when it does cool down and it does set, you're still going to end up with a beautiful velvet texture. If you end up with lumps in your custard, also just pass it through a sieve. Just pass it through a sieve. And that's all you have to do to remove those lumps. I feel you, because jelly and custard is a very satisfying dish.
And
But there's a lot of room for error.
There is.
So, Natalie, hopefully we've helped you. And, I mean, I almost want to say it's almost Christmas, because it really is almost Christmas.
Can you believe
And
it?
I'll definitely be throwing in a few jelly and custard desserts coming up to the silly season, because we all love a jelly and custard.
Until then, just go buy something, you know, like Woolies has this. No, I'm joking, I'm joking. Natalie, don't do it. Start it from scratch, do
From
it. Hopefully
scratch.
they've helped you. But we are back into the kitchen, and I'm seeing prawns here, and I just told you that I took out prawns this morning before I left for work, and I was looking for something to try. So we are making pierogies, am I saying this correctly?
You're saying it perfectly, actually. Well done.
Okay, so what is
Pierogi.
pierogies?
So pierogi is like, it's a Polish dumpling. Because it's almost like every country has their own version of dumplings, and this is a very, the dough is very soft and malleable. It's a very nice type of dumpling. Yeah.
Natalie will even be able to make this. Natalie, this one is for you. Try making this.
No, we got faith in you, Natalie.
Natalie,
We got faith in you.
Natalie can do this.
So where do we start with this one? Because I see the insides, we have prawn, we have lots of white meat going on there. Where do we start with this recipe?
So what we want to do, shall we make the filling? Or?
Sure thing, you can go straight ahead.
Okay.
And Jamie's got some dough in front of her. Is it an instruction for Jamie?
Yes, okay, so actually...
I need a step-by-step. I'm a Natalie. I am a Natalie. I can mess up the simplest
Natalie,
recipe.
no offense.
I'm going to put you on the filling bit, because that's the tricky bit.
I can fill.
You can do
I can
this.
fill.
Okay, so inspire Natalie, and then you can just make a circle. Very good.
Go.
And the best way to do it is to just sort of put it in the palm of your hand. There we go. You want to move fairly quickly because the dough doesn't like to get too hot.
Go ahead.
And we've got some water here. And you just dip your finger and you seal one side. So just like a half moon side. There we go.
There we go. Is that
Perfect.
good
And then we're going to do a nice, fat, generous scoop of filling. So this is the bacon and prawn
You don't
filling.
want ting-ting, you don't want ting-ting in the middle. You want it nice
You want
and
it
yummy, lots of filling
Fat.
in.
There we go. Right, and now whatever your instinct tells you to do, to sort of fold it over And then you just want to seal it. There we go. So I always grab it in the middle, yeah. There we go. Good job.
And then just pinch it together.
Go,
Oh, this one is nice and filling.
Yeah, it's fairly stretchy, so you can don't be afraid to pull the dough.
Pull it out.
There we
Got
go.
it. Okay, don't break
Very
that
cool.
one.
Very nice.
And pop it in.
Yeah, and then
It's
if you want
that
to put it on a
simple.
flat surface, you can make it pretty afterwards. There we go. Good job. You kind of nailed that.
My first
good
dumpling,
job.
everybody.
Look at
Wow,
you.
I'm going to salad. Can we frame that?
There we
Can we
go.
actually frame that?
Yeah, we're not
That's
going to cook it. We're just going to fry it.
We're just going to keep it
So,
right
Didi,
there.
you're going to talk us through what actually
Yeah.
goes into that filling. Because it's
Yes.
interesting.
Yeah. So I'm a big believer in having the ingredients sing for themselves. I don't want to, just overwhelm the ingredients. So this is a really simple one. We're going to do the bacon first, and actually we're going to rely a lot on the rendered fat from the bacon. So we do the bacon first. Once we have a nice oily base, we use that same oil to cook some grated onions and our prawns, because prawn cooks very quickly.
Very quickly.
So once we have that in there, we're just going to do some salt and pepper seasoning, and we're going to put some coriander in there. I must say, disclaimer, this is not traditional Polish pierogi, because traditional Polish, they believe potato and cheese in their filling.
Yes.
So this is
It's a bit of the viscous.
This is, viscous
Yeah.
You can't not have seafood in it, hey? Yeah.
Okay, so I like the fact that we're actually
Pan is
using...
a bit hot. I'm just going to help it
So
out.
I like that you're adding some oil. What I do at home when I'm trying to render fat out of bacon is I actually add a bit of water to it as well.
Yeah.
And that helps just to like loosen the fat, get into the pan, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You give it a good mix. And I
Yeah.
also like the fact that you're cooking it, you're adding some pork fat to it. That's
yes,
flavor.
yes.
Because there's not a lot of fat in prawns. In fact, I don't think there's any. So you're adding that fat to it.
It's very lean, and also the prawn is very sweet naturally, and we all know bacon is very nice and deep and salty, savoury. So the two of them, when they come together, make a whole. So you get your
Nice.
sweet and you get your
Good.
savoury.
It's a beer that I've never mixed it to. I've never actually had bacon and prawns in the same dish.
That's fair. That's very fair.
I always like to keep like my fish separate, my white meat separate, like chicken. So even like the thought of mixing the two, I'm like, what are you doing?
But if you think about it,
Goodness.
one of my favorite things is a pork and prawn pot sticker.
Yes.
And like in Asian cuisine, they do mix it quite a bit. But then also, if you think about pork being used as an ingredient to add moisture, some burger patties, they would add
absolutely.
extra bacon to it or ground pork mince because of that extra fat. So I've always found that when the two do meet, it's to add that extra moisture and that extra fat.
Got it.
Let the people mix, Jamie.
I'm not mad at it at all. Do what you need to do, of course.
Should we try boiling Jamie's dumpling? I know we're
Maybe
going to
we'll
frame it.
convert you
Yes.
today.
Let's see if it holds. Okay.
I did the second one, so not the first one. The first one we frame, we were taking home
Okay.
to Mama.
So that we
There
boil
you
it,
go.
and once it comes to the surface, we then fry it. I see.
Yeah, it's very cute. It tells you when it's done. So basically, you just put it in. You don't want a rolling boil. You just want a gentle boil. And it sticks at the bottom, and then the moment it's ready, it just comes and says, "Hi, I'm ready."
And it says hi.
Just floats
And when
to
it
the
says
surface.
hi, you put it on a plate and you serve it for everyone at home. Of course, Didi and Chef Clem is not going anywhere, but if you do want to get your hands on this recipe, it is amazing. As you can see, it was so easy to make. It was Natalie proofed, Jamie proofed all at once. You can get your hands on the recipe at expressoshow.com. And again, if you have any questions for us, please do use that WhatsApp line. We'd love to answer all of your questions with regards
Yours
to
for
kitchen
Natalie?
conundrums.